does your honor for this many a day.
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No. Not I never gave you aught.
I think one of the most painful scenes for actors to perform in this play is the scene where Ophelia has to give her sweet nothings from Hamlet back to him and basically break up their relationship. We know it's not something that she wants to do, but she's being charged to do so by her father. And it just showcases Ophelia's lack of agency in this play, in this world that she's in. And at the end, Ophelia shows this incredible amount of compassion for Hamlet and says this beautiful speech, "Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown." She's exploring this event that they just had together where she observed that he just isn't the same person that he once was, and she is, like any true lover, really concerned for him. Another interesting way to interpret the "Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown" speech is that Ophelia's mind is also o'erthrown. She comes into this play pure, innocent, accepting, loving of all people, and she slowly starts to see the veil come off of everyone around her. And for anyone who starts to lose their innocence and starts to become more aware that the world isn't quite what it once seemed, it's devastating.
Go to! I'm no more on it! It has made me mad! I say, we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one shall live, the rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown.
For me, get thee to a nunnery never meant get out of here, I never want to see you again. Always meant save yourself. You know, this is a hard scene. It's a breakup scene. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of layers of performance and reality happening, sort of very appropriate to Hamlet. But for me, that was always, this ship is going down. You have a chance to get off it before it goes down, because I'm going down with it. So save yourself. And unfortunately, she doesn't, and that's exactly what happens.
Property, wholesome life, usurped immediately.
He poisoned him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
King, where is this, my lord?
My lord!
My lord!
Oh,
My lord!
give me some light!
Away!
The Mousetrap, or the play within a play, is the culmination of all of Hamlet's discoveries and his action up until this point. He's had the players stage in front of his uncle the scene in which Claudius murders Hamlet, and Claudius's reaction is so strong and so visceral and so clear to him that it's a confirmation. And at that moment, he knows the ghost is real. Claudius murdered my father, and now I have to take my revenge. Shakespeare has been separately building these stories and developing these characters and weaving them all together, and then he puts them together in a room for this scene, and he lights the match. And now, after intermission, he separates everyone again and has them dealing with the fallout of what just happened during the play within a play.
Help, angels! Make us say!
stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it pat. Now he is a-praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged.
Hamlet finds Claudius in the church praying. He has the opportunity to kill him right there and exact his revenge. But then he starts thinking about it. It's not enough for Hamlet to kill Claudius. He wants to damn him. He wants to send him to hell, because that is true revenge.
Salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
The Hamlet Gertrude scene is an electrifying scene for an audience to watch and for actors to play. You have a mother and a son in an argument, and you see so many different dynamics of their relationship on display. We see the power shift in this scene. At the beginning of the play, Gertrude's very poised and very regal, and then by this point, Hamlet becomes the powerful person in the room with her, and you see her start to fall a little bit from her status. And instead of being the one in command of her son, Hamlet becomes more assertive and in command of her. We typically see a scene where a parent is educating a child, but in this case, there's an inversion of that relationship where the son is educating the mother. And after the murder of Polonius, we watch Gertrude and wonder, what is she going to do? Is she going to tell Claudius that Hamlet just committed murder? Or is she going to choose to protect her son? And it sort of has the audience on the edge of their seat, waiting to see how she moves forward from that moment.
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Well, now, Hamlet,
What's the matter now?
have you forgot me?
No! By the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you. That can
Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me!
What?
No!
Oh! Rat!
Oh, me! What hast thou done?
May I know not, is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady. It was my word.
So after Hamlet has hidden Polonius's body, he winds up in sort of a face-to-face, being brought face-to-face with Claudius. And this was always, regardless of production, regardless of night, regardless of whatever, my favorite scene to play. That in this sort of chess match that he and Claudius are playing, he now has the upper hand for the first time. Claudius knows that Hamlet knows that he's guilty. But Claudius has to continue pretending that he fears that Hamlet is mad, or else he risks admitting that he did this thing that everyone saw. Claudius has to kind of play Hamlet's game now.
What does thou mean by this? Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
in heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall know him. As you go up the stairs into the lobby, don't seek him there. He will stay till you come.
The last scene before Hamlet is sent away to England, he crosses a field and he sees Fortinbras leading an army to war. And, you know, that's where we get the speech, "How all occasions do inform against me."
What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused.
Looking at his words, he returns to the idea of a beast, but at this time a condemnation of himself. To sleep and feed is a beast, no more. There's an interesting sort of militarism in his language. He has this line, "I do not know why yet I live to say this things to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it." It almost has this marching sort of feel, this militaristic march to it, and all of those, you know, words are monosyllabic, so it's again of deep significance and meaning for the character. So the native hue of resolution is no longer sicklied ore with a pale cast of thought. The thought-action balance has changed now, and thought is actually what is fueling his momentum toward revenge.
From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
The infamous Ophelia mad scene, which is terrifically difficult to play for an actor, is a scene where we see a person who is mad speaking truth. She isn't speaking nonsense in this scene. She is actually telling the truth and stating facts about the characters that she's sharing the stage with. There's a really exciting dichotomy that we see in this scene where Ophelia is speaking real truth through genuine madness. And throughout the play, we see Hamlet speaking truth while feigning madness. So we're sort of geared up for somebody being a little crazy, and in this case, it's Ophelia, and it's heartbreaking, and we see what genuine madness really looks like.
Ophelia!
Pray you mark!
White his shroud as the mountain snow, loaded all with sweet flowers, which be wept to the ground, did not go. With true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God ill do. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table.
The final scene, the duel, is sort of listed as another example of Hamlet getting distracted or delayed, but I don't think it's that. I think it's much more deliberate. He only has a limited amount of time before word comes back from England that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern have been murdered, and then he's got no agency whatsoever. So he accepts a duel with Laertes because it puts him in a room with Claudius with a weapon in his hand. And he knows, okay, this is the place I gotta do it. And Horatio says, you know, think about this, think about this. If anything in your thought makes you want to stop, say the word and it's over. Think about this is a trap. And Hamlet says, no.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
He's arrived at this place with death where he says, it will come. The readiness is all, in that fall of a sparrow speech. And Hamlet knows that he is ready for death, and he knows that Claudius is not. And that's what leads him to accept the duel.
Right. Hamlet! Another hit! What say you? Hit!
Touch!
People were, I think, really struck by the violence in our production of the murder of Claudius, but I worked with our director to really make sure that that was a punctuation, because I feel like it is the tension that's been building up for 3 hours, and we need it to go and really hammer home. The action was taken. Hamlet did it. He succeeded in this thing, and even though he did, even though he made it, and we see this transformed Hamlet, this man who is kind of on a different plane of existence as a human, it's too late.
Right. Go. Gentlemen! Gentlemen! Nothing either way! How about you now? Yes. My lord?
No! Pardon me, I insist!
Come again! Rinaldo!
Pardon!
Rinaldo!
The king! The king's to blame!
Point and venom too. And venom to thy work.
Oh, you defend me, friends, I am but hurt!
Here! Thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink of this potion! Is thy union here? Follow my mother.
The last moment for Hamlet, for me, was always an important one. That line, the rest is silence. I feel like Hamlet is smart enough to know that there's a great irony in someone who's spoken nonstop for 3.5 hours saying, well, that's the last you'll hear from me. And so what more appropriate response is there for someone who has that sense of humor and that knowledge than to laugh? And so it's sad for the audience, and it's certainly tragic for Hamlet because he achieved all this too late, but he's also achieved freedom. And what greater sort of symbol is there of freedom from the fear of death than laughter? And so I thought it was a particularly sort of ironic but also appropriate moment for Hamlet's journey to have his last moment be laughter in the face of death.
He has my dying voice. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.